into Deathrite Shaman, Experiment Ones, Flinthoof Boars, Mog Flunkies, and then on 3, obviously, the sky's the limit for them. I definitely think with that, I want plenty, like, I just want some Pillar of Flames just to go with the mana, but that's just like me needing value.
Yeah, sure.
And efficiency.
Something to do. So we are underway here in round 3 of the Star City Games Open Series, our second standard open here. Tim Finamore on the right, Chris Galiano on the left. 5-color Verdant Haven, card that you and Evan deemed unplayable. Shame on you both.
We've seen it twice this weekend. Both players starting with Blood Crypts. Probably Tim's thinking it's a little bit more aggressive on the other side than it actually is.
Yeah, as we do see a Flinthoof Boar here for Tim, so he does have a 2-drop. 1-drops in his deck, of course, are Experiment 1. He does have 3 copies of Deathrite Shaman as well, and it doesn't look like we're going to see any Rakdos Cacklers today.
No, there's none of those. These junk, or these Experiment Jund decks are definitely just running away from the red drops and keeping on the green one since the junk deck is so popular.
And so we do see Flinthoof Boar coming on in. Chris does not have a turn to Farseek. Doesn't look like he has a turn to removal spell either. So we'll see what Tim is able to follow up with here.
No turn 3 play either. This just means that we're probably going to see Searing Spear or a Hellrider next turn.
And so we have a Chromatic Lantern here for Chris. Tim's going to read that, and that is, of course, the artifact that does tap for all the colors of the rainbow and allows your lands to do the exact same thing.
I was playing a deck with Vessel of the Souls, or Lust Vessel of Souls, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the 3-mana artifact.
And then they previewed that, and I was like, well, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that card became obsolete rather quickly, and we are going to see Hellrider, as you said. 2 triggers from the Hellrider, plus 6 damage, going to equal 8 for the turn. So Tim off to a very nice start here. Not having a 1-drop kind of stinks, not having a 3-drop either, but you know, the beatdowns are here.
Yes, and the blue-white cards in Chris's hands do not seem to be Supreme Verdicts. They look like 2 Sphinx's reps. That's not really going to do exactly what he needs for this. Hopefully we get a Miracle Terminus.
Yeah, he does have 4 copies of Thragtusk as well, so if he does have a land on Thragtusk, he'll be sitting fairly pretty here. As we do see, Tim does have a couple cards in his hand. Looks like he has a Gorkline Rampager and a Searing Spear over there as well.
He is definitely threatening lethal next turn if Chris does not deal with this Hellrider.
And again, there are 2 Sphinx's Revelations over there in Chris's hand. Chris will draw a card. We do see a Sunpetal Grove go to his hand. You also see another Chromatic Lantern over there in his hand as well. So we'll see if he's able, to stabilize this board. Kind of come back, because he's certainly behind right now.
Looks very rough.
And will he just pass the turn back? He does just pass it back.
He is praying and hoping that Tim is not able to deal an additional 3 points of damage, which we both know is true.
As Tim does draw a Strangleroot Geist for the turn. See if he's going to elect to cast that. Maybe he wants to go the Gorkline Rampager route. Maybe he wants to leave up Searing Spear as well. We'll see exactly what avenue he looks to take here, as he does have a very good board presence and is threatening lethal this turn.
And just weighing his options. You know, when your opponent plays a Chromatic Lantern, you really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and anything is possible.
Yeah, you'd think if your opponent's on the draw, you'd keep more than just that. But Chris's draw did not get there, and that is going to present lethal damage.
And so now we see a Strangleroot Geist. You see as Chris saying, one moment before you go to your attack set,
we're going to draw a card, and we're going to
try to find a miracle.
And I think he has 1 in his hand, so he's got 3 left. Have you ever seen it? I've never seen the Sphinx for 1, no miracle.
I only ever see it off Think Twice. I don't ever really see it off of that. As we do see a lethal attack here. Chris Galiano is going to concede the game. So Tim Finamore does win game 1 with Experiment Jund over Chris Galiano in his 5-color Verdant Haven deck. And as Chris does look towards his sideboard, we'll do the exact same thing here. 4 copies of Abundant Growth, 3 copies of Tree Redemption, 3 copies of Slaughter Games, 2 Elder Scale Worms, a Sphere of Safety, a Ground Seal, and a Syncopate. I think we're definitely going to see those Tree Redemptions come in. A card doesn't seem for a little while.
And we're going to see those Elder Scale Worms too. That's very good against these aggressive decks. Timothy only has 2 Dreadbores in the main deck, along with 2 Tragic Slips after sideboard that can deal with that. But if you've got an Elder Scale Worm in play, I do not think you are going to be trying to allow Tragic Slip to deal with anything.
Yeah.
You just take, I mean, why is anything in combat?
Yeah.
So we have 2 Dreadbores that hopefully he keeps in, because the Elder Scale Worm is a beating for people that are not prepared for it.
It'll be interesting to see if he even leaves in Dreadbore again, because he didn't actually see any creatures that game. You know, there was no real tip-off. You can probably assume that Thragtusk is in his deck, and Dreadbore and Thragtusk, not really the best use for that card. So
yeah.
I'll be surprised if we even do see Dreadbore in his deck post-sideboard. Well, of course, Searing Spear will still be there, but we'll Dreadbore.
And even if he doesn't have the Dreadbores, the surprising thing is Tim is going to be very hungry for the Elder Scale Brain.
Sure.
But he doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah.
He's just gonna find out. He's gonna be like, yeah, that's satisfying. I'm gonna eat that with 2 copies of Appetite for Brains. He does have a. That's about it. As well as conscripts, that could also steal it in attack, so that's pretty sweet. Surprisingly, I love that he is one of the only Experiment Gen players to cut back on those Hell Riders and play the 4 Falcon Riders Aristocrats. So maybe he was watching yesterday or playing, but he is on my side of Team Falcon Riders Aristocrat.
I mean, he's got 4 of those and only 2 Hell Riders in his deck. Yep. And the other thing that you find in his sideboard that might come in, not sure, of course, are those 2 Gary Charms. Of course, he didn't see Supreme Verdict in that game, but I think maybe for a Chromatic Lantern deck, you're assuming that there's some removal there. Might be able to regenerate your guys for a bit of a blowout. Not really going to use the -1/-1 mode very much, but he might be able to find a use for that card where some of his other cards are a little bit more, not suited to be very good in this matchup, like an Abrupt Decay.
And, I mean, you show me a deck that has Sphinx's Revelation and not a Supreme Verdict, and I'll show you a deck that probably doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Now, he, of course, does have those 4 Supreme Verdicts, also 4 Terminus as well, so certainly has removal in his deck. Chris was unable to find them back there, that's all.
We have, the best thing about 5-color Verdict is it has 4 different utility lands, but still no caverns. He just does not think that cavern is a necessity in this metagame. I mean, he added a Desolate Lighthouse, so now he is up to 3 Nephalia Drown Yards, 1 Kessig Wolf Run, 1 Alchemist's Refuge, and 1 Desolate Lighthouse. What a crazy brew.
Yeah, definitely a brew. Maybe at some point he'll find room to put Cavern of Souls into his deck. Those Esper matchups, those Blue-Red matchups where they have Syncopates and Dissipates and Counterfluxes flying around, not being able to resolve those Sylvan Primordials can be detrimental. But, we did see him on camera yesterday defeat Josh Martinez playing Blue-White-Red, so maybe we're just wrong. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, maybe there's just not enough counterspells to merit it. I mean, we are a Drown Yard deck with Slaughter Games, with Sphinx's Revelation, a lot of powerful cards for these control matchups. They just have a tough time getting ground against a deck with so many angles.
Yeah. And we do see Chris is going to shuffle up here. Tim looks ready to go. And what Tim probably is feeling is a pretty good matchup for him. He's got this super aggressive deck. He's got some resilient threats. Obviously not as fast as an Eye Blitz deck, but, definitely powerful.
And then, I mean, I don't think he's assuming that there's going to be Abundant Growth and Sphere of Safety out of the board. How awesome would it be to find that one of Sphere of Safety after Abundant Growth in a couple times?
That would be pretty awesome.
That has to be right. Like, he has to bring the Abundant Growth in if he's Sphere of Safety, mostly to just try to draw into the important cards in this matchup.
Yeah. When we do get underway here, Tree of Redemption is a card we'll bring up on the screen for you guys. And that was a card that, of course, you were at Pro Tour Barcelona competing there. And that was a card that did see some play, as you could flip it back and forth and start getting a whole bunch of life.
Oh, and if you Silver Heart it or Township, you start gaining life.
Yeah, you actually start gaining life. That interaction's pretty neat there. So we'll see if those do come in. Again, that 013 wall that has Defender is a card that I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen more of. I think if Blitz was dominating the format a little bit more, maybe you would see more of that card. But with Junk Reanimator running rampant, you don't really see it that much.
Yeah, and I also feel that maybe like there's other options, right? There's Tristani and Faithbender. I think a lot of cards do similar things where those cards are a little bit more high-end picked immediately.
Sure.
Tree Redemption needs a little bit of time and doesn't do anything on the board. So we're seeing Chris ponder mulliganing. He doesn't look like he wants to.
It looks like he's in pain.
He does.
Bad breakfast?
He's down a game. He's in an aggressive matchup. Probably not the one that he wants to play against, but he is going to keep it.
He's going to keep it. He taps on his deck as he does just play that Temple Guard and passes the turn back. Tim is going to...
Did he keep a one-lander?
He may have. We saw him do it on camera last time as well, as Tim has a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman here. So let's see if Chris is able to draw out of it. He draws a Temple Garden and does pass the turn back. Looks like he does have a couple more lands in there. Maybe he's just missing some colors. Maybe just searching for the Chromatic Lantern. As we do see Overgrown Tomb coming to play untapped here for Tim. And we'll see what kind of follow-up he has.
It's a Stringerroot Geist turn. The Burning Traversaries are still left in the deck.
Stringerroot Geist it is. Here comes that, and here comes the Deathrite Shaman, putting Chris down to 17. So Chris draws a Forest for the turn. He's going to play Subtunnel Grove and pass the turn back. Tim untaps. He draws. Let's see if he's able to find some red mana to complete the tricolor deck. You see him searching through those. We see another Stringerroot Geist here in main phase 1.
And 5 damage, dropping Chris down to 12.
So here come the beatdowns. He does just pass the turn back, so no red mana, as Chris does draw a Staff of Nin for the turn, plays a forest, and just does say go. If you're Tim here, you might be a little bit scared of Restoration Angel. You didn't see anything in game 1, really, so that is a little bit scary, as that's a common play in this format.
I mean, but it is beneficial when you have Stronger Geist.
Yeah. Just the question is, are those Deathrite Shaman? Is that Deathrite Shaman, going to come in or not? You see him really giving this turn some thought, especially when he doesn't have any red mana. But Deathrite Shaman is not scared. It's coming across. Chris does not have the Restoration Angel, none in his deck list, which we have the privilege of knowing, so he's going to go down to 7. And Tim, again, does just pass the turn back.
Now we have that land. Now we get to start with a Thragtusk. What's great is, since Tim is getting a little land screwed, this gives Chris a chance to get out of this. And if he has another land, he gets a Staff of Nin, and that should be able to, take away this game.
So we do see Chris does go back up to 12 from the Thragtusk. Tim draws another Strangleroot Geist. He's, of course, going to play it. And he says, all right, everybody, let's get in there. I think even Deathrite Shaman wants to come in. Let's get some damage through. And so here comes that. And so Thragtusk is going to get in front of something. We'll see what it's going to be.
I would probably just take care of the Deathrite Shaman right now. I think it's going to deal less damage over the course of the game. You want to, eat away at these Strangleroot slowly, because next turn I don't think you want to trade your Thragtusk, but you can use a Staff of Nin to poke away at one of them. So if you take the Deathrite Shaman next turn, you only take 2 damage.
Sure. And we do see that Tim does block a Strangleroot Geist, does come back from Undying. 5 damage does finally do come across. We see Chris play a Forest. We do know about that Staff of Nin, as he did draw a Supreme Verdict. It's something he just can't cast right now, missing that blue mana. But Staff of Nin looking to try to stabilize this game.
Yeah, I think we're 1 Dragmangler away from this game being over. And we hit a Blood Crypt.
Draws a Blood Crypt. What can he do with that red mana?
Well, he can Blood Rush for lethal. I think that's something that he's probably going to do. And that is going to be the game. We did see the Gorkon Rampager. Chris is tapped out. He can just Blood Rush on the 3-2 if that gets blocked. Either way, that's enough damage. That's 4 damage plus 2 from the Strangleroot that lives through the Staff of Nin, and 1 from the Deathrite Shaman.
So if he does have a Gorkon Rampager in his hand, that will be a lethal attack. We're not quite sure if he has one or not, as he is going to play that Blood Crypt untapped. Going to bring himself down to 16. You do see a Dreadbore there, and you actually do see him pull that Gorkon Rampager forward to his hand. And now we are going to see the attacks here with the 3 Strangleroot Geist and that Deathrite Shaman. We're going to see Staff of Nin target that Strangleroot Geist. And he is going to Gorkon Rampager in response. Right now, the Blood Rush giving +4/+4 and Trample in response to that Staff of Nin activation. And what it looks like we do have here, Brad, is going to be a lethal attack by Tim Finamore. As you see, Chris is trying to figure out what blocks can I make with this Thragtusk to stay alive. Thragtusk is such a good card. Why isn't it saving me now? But it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, and if there was a line that wouldn't have been lethal, because if he just blocked the Deathrite Shaman, then he has 3 2/1s that you can't do that to. So you can block, take the damage. You can play around the Gorkon Rampager that way, and he would have survived. Sure. Getting to see what was on top of his deck after that Staff of Nin trigger.